Hi, my name is Alexa. I'm a sophomore studying computer science with a secondary in sociology. And my presentation today is going to be about tackling to-dos, or really how to get stuff done. And this project or presentation is, skipped one. It's based on a book that I read in middle school, and it's helped me overcome a lot of obstacles and has given me more inspiration to get things done. It's called Doable by Deborah Reber, The Girl's Guide to Accomplishing Just About Anything. And the title's a little misleading because I feel like it's applicable really to everybody, not just girls. So highly recommend, but if you don't have the time to pick it up and read it, I'm going to give you the quick rundown of it. It's helped me basically like break down all of my tasks into 8 steps to make any goal more achievable. So yeah, let's get started. So just as a warm-up, I would like to ask everybody, how do you tackle a big project? Because I know there's a lot of strategies that people use. You know, some people get started early, others, spread the work around, and people just also wait last minute to do stuff, which, happens sometimes. So I'd like to know, either put it in the chat or, raise your hand or just say it out loud. What are some things that you guys do when you're tackling a big project? It could be the project that we're doing in class, could be another project, a personal project. I see Olivia makes an outline and sets many internal deadlines. That's awesome. We're also going to be talking about that strategy as well. That's a really good one. Anybody else have any strategies that they use? Yes, I see more outlines, to-do lists, take time to articulate my vision for the project. Awesome. Yeah, okay, these are really great. Actually, we're gonna touch on a lot of these as well. So glad to see that a lot of you guys are actually doing what I'm about to tell you anyway. But yeah, so I will go over the tasks that we're going to talk about. So these are the 8 steps on how to tackle really any to-do. So first you define your task, then you break down your task, defend against obstacles, find support systems, determine what success looks like, do the work, deal with setbacks, and finally deliver the goods. So as you can see, a lot of you guys actually already talked about that. So first step is to define your task. It's really important to think about these things when you are, trying to tackle anything. So you should think about what it is that you are actually trying to achieve. Make sure that your goal is measurable or trackable so that you know when you've actually reached it. Envision what success looks and feels like. Make sure your task is completely within your own control and create a personal why so that you can use that why when you're overcoming barriers or obstacles. And so I thought it would be a good idea if we just took a minute and got a pen or pencil or just pulled up a document on your laptop and think about a personal or maybe a school project that you're doing at the moment that you can apply these steps to as we're going through them. So I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to a minute to think about a to-do that you're doing either now or in the future that you would like to apply these steps to. And if you feel comfortable, you can put it in the chat. If not, we can move on. So step 2 is breaking down your task. So break down your big task into smaller tasks. And then once you have your small tasks, break them down even further. So the point of this step is to really break them down into tangible steps that aren't as intimidating as the whole project itself. Next is organize your to-dos. So mind mapping is a great way to do that. Basically, it's like making a drawing or on pen and paper, kind of attaching your tasks to each other so you can see how it all connects together. Setting target dates and deadlines is also super important. So beginning with the final deadline and then going backwards from there is a good strategy to use. Also taking the time to plan before you get started is super important. Just like you wouldn't dive into a big essay without doing some kind of outline first, it's important to take the time to plan for a bigger project as well. Step 3 is defending against obstacles. So, there's a lot of obstacles that come up when you're doing something negative thoughts, overwhelm, distraction, lack of time. So these are just a few strategies to think about when you come face to face with these obstacles. So in terms of negative thoughts, a useful strategy is to identify your most common critical thoughts and identify how much weight they hold or like how truthful they are, and replace them with more accurate thoughts. In terms of overwhelm, it's important to stop and breathe and think about why you're feeling this way, because you don't want to fall into a place where like you're so overwhelmed you freeze up and don't do anything. So just like take a step back, take a breather, relax, and think about what you can do in the moment. In terms of distraction, one of my personal common obstacles, identify what is distracting you and what's the optimal environment for you to get things done. Also, there's lack of time. So you can reflect on how you are spending your time, how much time each of your tasks take, and find pockets of time in your day or in your week to tackle your to-do. And here's a couple of self-coaching tips to defend against these common obstacles, such as think about the reason why you might be dealing with these obstacles in the first place, and what feelings are resulting from these obstacles. Then uncover why you might be feeling this way, and challenge the negative thoughts and emotions that might be coming up because of this. And then coming up with a new truth. So in terms of like negative thoughts and feelings, a common negative thought might be something like, oh, I can't get this done. I've never done anything like this. You can like reword that to say, I've done new things before, I can get it done. If I've done it before, it's totally possible for me to do it again. Step 4 is developing support systems. So it's important to think about like that you have people around you that you can reach out to if you ever feel stuck, if you ever feel like you need help. You have friends, family, professors, school staff. And when you want to identify people to turn to, think about the goal that you're trying to set out to do. Write down the current support system that you have, and go through your list of people and write down the specific help that you can ask for. So like the help that you ask for from friends or family might be a little bit different from the help that you want from professors. So just like think about, who you can ask and what kind of help you can ask for. Besides people, there's also resources like clubs and organizations. There's reminder and tracking apps that exist to keep you on track. Software and websites, also books, journals, whiteboards, Post-its, etc. These products exist to help you also like organize yourself, organize your tasks and your smaller to-dos. And then step 5, which is personally my favorite step, determine what success looks like. So think about what is your ideal outcome and make sure that it is within your control. So for example, let's say you want to get hired from X company. So what is in your control is, your application, your interview, like getting ready for that. What isn't completely within your control is like making sure that the hiring team actually hires you. So like rewording what your goal is, which in this case would be like, putting in a good application that is within your control. So, write down what that outcome will also look and feel like. So like really manifest that. And a good way to do that is to write from your future self's perspective about what you've achieved. So that's like a good, activity to do to really get you into that headspace that you've already achieved it. So including lots of details and emotions might be really helpful there. Something fun to do is also like making a vision board to like get inspiration and visualize your end goal. So step 6 is actually doing the work. So up until now, we've talked about like getting ready, finding support, and basically how to overcome obstacles and such. So now we actually have to like do the work. So it's important to identify your work style so that you can identify the strengths and weaknesses of them. And by knowing your work style, you can develop your ideal working conditions and play to your strengths. So I found a quiz online that isn't the best, but I thought it would be, really short and fun to like get us to reflect about our own working styles. So I will post the link in the chat and give us like 2 to 3 minutes to complete it. Okay. So I'll post it in the chat. I have to. Can you guys see it in the chat? Awesome. Okay, so I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to do that, and then we can share if we feel like it's an accurate representation of our own working styles. Awesome. I see Olivia got supportive, expressive, and emotionally oriented. Olivia, do you think that's a good reflection of how you work?
I think that's totally true. I guess a little context about like me professionally is that I moved from software engineering to product management, where that's like essentially been my job, right? It's like being the person that gets everyone in the same room, fostering conversations. So reading the blurb actually felt very accurate and not super horoscope-y, which I was worried that it might.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Anybody else? Oh, wow. We have a lot of supportive, expressive, and emotionally oriented people here. Nice. Okay. Oh, that's 4 people. Organized, sequential, planned, detail-oriented. I think I also got the same one when I did it. Okay, so after understanding your working styles, sorry, let me go back into presentation mode. Okay, so after understanding your working styles, you can then like think about how you can apply how you work into your like action plan. So you can make sure that you're in the right environment to do the most work and do the best work. And then step 7 is dealing with setbacks, which do occasionally happen. So it's important to accept that, you know, setbacks are real and that, you know, you should make room for your emotions because, you know, when something doesn't go as planned, it's definitely not a good time. So you should take a moment to like step back and think about what went wrong and what is your biggest concern about this setback in relation to the bigger project. What can you learn from it and what changes can you make to enhance chances of success? And finally, step 8, deliver the goods. So once we reach step 8, there are 3 things that could happen. 1, you achieve your work, in which case, congratulations. You definitely deserve a celebration for that. And then think about what strategies worked well, and if you can apply a similar strategy to future goals. What else could happen is that you don't necessarily reach the goal that you originally set out to do. So you like change the goal itself. So you alter or redefine what success looks like. In which case you can think about why are you deciding to change courses and what did you discover about yourself in the process. The third thing that could happen is that you did not reach the goal, in which case if you could start over, what would you do differently? And you think about what also worked well and if you would want to pursue the goal again. And with that, we are done. So thank you for sticking with me for this presentation.